Hello my friends, it is your brother Hampton from Hybrid Calisthenics and Hybrid Creators coming to you once again today with a video on how to transfer your audience from one platform to another. Now, whether this has happened to you or not, the big thing that people seem to have, a lot of questions that you see on social media, are a result of someone accumulating a larger audience, much larger in some cases, on one platform, and the rest are kind of just dwindling. So you may see some major creators on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and they have millions of followers on one platform, and on everything else they have like 20k, 30k. You can tell they didn't really put a lot of effort into it, and not that many people are transferring. So today I want to talk about how we transfer from one platform to another, because this is a question a lot of people have. And right off the bat, I'm going to give you, I have notes. You know it's serious when I have notes. 5 different ways where we can start doing that. I'm just going to rattle them off. If you're doing short pieces of content, and I'm going to focus on that because that's usually where we accumulate the most of an audience. This is why TikTok, the most common issue with this is just going to be TikTok to Instagram, TikTok to YouTube, TikTok to wherever else, because people tend to accumulate a larger following on TikTok. And why that is, they kind of they seem to frontier the short form vertical content that's really pushing out, and a lot of other platforms are adopting, and that type of content really seems to be efficient at building followers. But for these short form pieces of content, you can put a short 2 to 3 second video at the end saying, hey guys, I hope you like this video. If you like it, please consider subscribing to my Instagram or YouTube. Something like that. Yeah, try to get it under 5 seconds. 5 seconds is quite a lot. That depends on the length of your video, because if it's a 15-second video and you have a 10-second call to action at the end, it's going to seem a lot like an ad. So just try to keep it short. And one way you can do this is not to say anything at all, but just to have text at the end. If you watch the Hybrid Calisthenics videos, then at the end I usually say follow and like for more. You can have something like that. You can even have it overlaid towards the last part of your video where it says Instagram, your Instagram tag, YouTube, your YouTube name, something like that. Another useful thing to regularly do this, because we'll get into that in a second, but you want a way to regularly do this, and you want some bigger ones. So you can also put it in the description, you can put it in the comments. So if you put it in the description, you can't really, like if it's TikTok, there's really no way you can link it. In the comments, you can give your Instagram tag and the YouTube. This way, your most dedicated following is going to transfer, because they'll be like, hey, I see this, and posting it once is not enough. You have to put it in the comments regularly, because that's just how people, very, very, very few people watch everything you make. Those are your mega fans. Most likely they already follow you because you have it linked in your bio or something. By the way, if you want, use a Linktree or Solo or Beacons. Many different options now, where you can have a multi-link in your bio description. If you're not sure what that is, look up Linktree. I think they were the first ones. They were the most notable. Now there's a lot of competition for them. Not sponsored by any of them. And I mentioned before that you can do a bigger call to action that gets more results. You can do a separate video by itself, either on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, wherever, where you can transfer. You can ask them. It's like, hey, it's just introduce yourself and say, if you follow my content, I post other stuff on Instagram and YouTube. Please consider checking it out. And then you can put the links there. Because it's a video and more people will see it, because not everyone goes into your comments, even if they like your video. More people will see it, and you generally get, if you have like a couple 100,000 on whatever platform, you can usually expect a couple thousand or 1,000 to come from that. But one of the questions you may be having right now is, 1,000, Hampton, I have 100,000 followers on TikTok. I have 200,000 followers. Why can't I transfer them all? That's just not how it works, because anytime that you have a call to action for your audience, this is going into just basic marketing, and you are marketing here, you're just marketing, they're not buying something, they're clicking subscribe. And out of the many things that go into consideration, one of the things is how much they like you, how much they trust you, and how much your thing has to offer them. That second thing is probably the more important one out of those. I mean, both of them are very important. The trust needs to be there. It's kind of the foundation. And the second thing also needs to be there because they also need to like it. Just to give you an example of this, when I first started selling merch, so it was t-shirts like this, I had a couple 100,000 followers on TikTok, and they were like, I had a lot of goodwill with them. My audience really seemed to like me at the time. They still do. You all are wonderful, but like, a lot of them asked me for merch all the time. I was like, okay. So I was like, I think it's gonna sell pretty well. And before this, people had offered to donate, and there was a time when they were donating a fair amount of money every day, just to give money. So when I released merch, I was like, well, this should be even better, but it wasn't. It didn't really sell that much. This is when I was only on TikTok at first. I'm like, maybe my audience just isn't as, as lucrative. I hate to think of them that way, but it's like I can't make as much money from my audience as I thought. And I wasn't discouraged. I was like, well, I'll just have to work that much harder. But when I started selling things they need, things they like, and they don't always tell you, sometimes you just have to figure it out, like exercise equipment, that sells a lot better than merch. So you see what I mean? They have the same amount of trust in me. The people who buy the merch, the people who buy the fitness equipment, if they know me, they have a very similar amount of trust. But it's about what you have to offer your audience. Okay? And the reason I went on that tangent right there is because what you have to offer your audience also greatly applies on asking them to subscribe on different platforms. Right? So if you have the same exact content on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, then it really only benefits them if they prefer one of those platforms. Like if they happen to be on Instagram that day, but they prefer YouTube, and they're like, oh, well, this guy has a YouTube, I'll just follow him there instead. So there is that, and so you'll see a bonus from that. And then some people just follow you just because they like you, or they're feeling generous that day and they want to encourage you. And the reason why this may not be as good as you think is because whenever someone follows you as a favor, or whenever someone follows you to be nice, or because they want to support you, kind of, the engagement is usually lower. Okay, so like I want to repeat that. If someone follows you for a reason other than them liking your content on that platform, the engagement is usually lower. And I repeated that because it seems almost counterintuitive. We think, well, why is that? You would think that wouldn't be the case, because they like you. Well, it's because people like you, but people aren't always in the zone to give. It really, just like all relationships, you're the creator, you're the content creator, and the consumer. It works best if there's giving in both ways. And how you give is providing content of value. And how they give in this return is they receive, but they also watch your content, and you can benefit from that with like ad revenue or attention, selling your products, or whatever. That's a separate topic. But there has to be mutual giving for a long-term relationship. So if you ask someone to follow you on a different platform, especially when they're not on, they might do that, but that doesn't mean they will watch your content, because it's a lot easier to click subscribe than it is to watch all of your content. I can say this with experience because I've probably gotten more crossover followers than many people, especially in my niche. And that's because I made pieces of content, and this is leading into my final point, that trended on different platforms. They were easily shareable. So you can do push-ups, my friend. Has like 15 million views on YouTube, which is a sizable chunk, but it's not, some places have like 100 million views. Some videos have like 100 million views. It's not a whole lot compared to what's out there. But it got a lot more across the internet because it got shared on Newsweek, on Yahoo Live. It got shared on Reddit multiple times. It was very easy for people to copy and paste and share it, right? And so I got a lot of transfer from this. And while like I very quickly went from like, 20,000, 30,000 to 500,000 to 600,000 to 1 million to 2 million to 2.5, when I was doing this ascent, there were a few times when people transferred because they kind of knew my content from a different platform and they followed me. And there were times when I legitimately built an audience because they followed me because of the content I produced. So a good example of both is when I was featured as creator on the Rise, I think of September something in 2020. I got like 30,000 followers from that, which is sizable for me because at the time I had like 1,000. Okay, or no, I had like 9,000, 10,000. I forget what it was. So we suddenly got 20,000, 30,000, and my engagement went up, but not by that much. You know, it used to be very high engagement compared to my subscribers, but because they followed me, just because I was featured as creator on the Rise and I got that little boost, I didn't really get that much. And then when YouTube came out with shorts and I started posting shorts and I started accumulating followers because of the content they already like on that platform. You see, like if they're on YouTube and they follow you, it's most likely because they're regularly on YouTube and they like the content you put out, the content that was suggested to them organically. Whenever there's like a flood of people, the engagement is not that high. When they join from that platform and you grow your base from that platform, the engagement is a lot higher. It makes sense because they got what they signed up for and not something that they did for charity or something they just wanted to do in the spur of the moment. There's still some engagement, but this is why shoutouts and like transferring your audience is not as important as you might think, and it's not as easy as some people might think. You know, like it's very easy to think, oh, if I have 1 million followers, even if I transfer 10%, that's gonna be 100,000. Very unlikely just by asking, unless you're a specific type of niche, you'll transfer 10%. So that's I've talked and skirted around my final point, which is to use your successful content. This is by far the most effective, the most efficient, both of those apply, way to use your following on one side and bring them into another platform. I just had to decline a call. Sorry about that. Sorry if I seem like I just booped the camera, but someone called and I'll call them back after I finish this video. But so if you go on the Hybrid Calisthenics YouTube channel, look at the shorts. Almost all the top shorts have been shared elsewhere, not even by me. And I didn't ask them to share it. I didn't say, hey, please share my content so I can grow my channel. No. They shared it so they can get likes and views on their account. The person who shared it on Reddit, I appreciate them, and I don't mind this at all. They got like 100,000 upvotes. You know, they got some awards and stuff. I'm not quite sure how Reddit works, but they got a lot of swag, you know, the internet swag that goes with having a successful post. And I'm pretty sure they're happy with that, and I appreciate that. You know, that they got it. So if you don't ask people to share your content, but you give them a piece of short content that they can share with others and get love from people that see their post, that's when you have a winner. Okay? So when you make good pieces of content, that's really what it comes down to, is providing content. All the things I'm breaking down on this channel are about providing value and creating value for others to use. If you're religious and you don't like the word creator, you can say that you're organizing value. Just however you want to think of it, you want to bring value to other people. When you do that, a lot of the stuff falls in line. And this is one of the ways. When you have a nice shareable piece of content that can genuinely, not just in your opinion, help a lot of people, it will get shared across the internet. And when it gets shared across the internet, you will find that it's very easy to grow on other platforms. And it's very easy for someone to find you eventually on YouTube and be like, hey, I know this person from like 2 other places. And it's a lot easier for them to follow you because they already know you from there. But the best way to grow your audience on other platforms in a way that's related to your current platform is to use your successful content and post it there. So if you have a video that's doing very well on one platform, try it on a different platform. It doesn't mean it always do well. Because as I've talked about before, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, they all have slightly different vibes in their community, even if they're theoretically very, very similar. I would say, just like to give an example, YouTube is more friendly towards information and educational content. Broadly speaking, there's a lot of crossover and exceptions, and and TikTok is more geared towards entertainment and fun. It's kind of just like where you go to relax. Again, broadly speaking. So different pieces of content might thrive differently on different platforms, but ultimately, if you have a handful of pieces of content that do well almost everywhere, and they do well because they get shared, then you can post that whenever on every platform. And if it isn't doing well, wait till you start getting some momentum, which that might take some time, for people to notice you. Then you start posting all of your content, and then you'll grow very rapidly. Facebook kind of dwindled for the first couple of years of me doing hybrid calisthenics, and then when they introduced Reels and I started posting my Reels, people started noticing. Again, organic reach, very important. And when they started noticing, the good news is I already had 2 years worth of videos that I knew did well on other platforms. So I'm posting it there, and it's growing relatively quickly for Facebook. But sorry if this video is too long. I am a little tired today, but I really wanted to get this video out. I know because of its length, fewer people will watch it, but I wanted to answer this question definitively for a lot of people who are wondering this. I don't know how many people watching this or at this stage yet. The thing is, I want to organize all these videos into a video course at some point, and if necessary, I will refilm them, and then I'll put that course on a website for free, and that'll be hybridcreators.org. But thank you all so much for watching anyway. As usual, please let me know how I can help. I am here to answer any question that you have, especially the questions that I can easily answer about how I grew my channel and how I'm currently monetizing and how I can make a living doing this and how you can make a living doing this, how it can apply to you. I really can't think of anything that would benefit you that I'm unwilling to answer. I guess you could ask about my taxes or something. I don't even mind sharing that. It's just, barring things that are very personal that wouldn't benefit you at all, I'm willing to share. I can answer questions. I'm here to help. And the only reason I'm doing this is so many of you can do what I do, because I feel like I'm blessed, and I want to help you be blessed as well. I want you to thrive. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day, my friend.